All right, ladies, buckle up. It's showtime.
And welcome aboard, everybody. Copperhead Road Podcast live on Rumble, all over your major media streaming and listening pleasure platforms. Boom, that's us. Yeah, I'm your boy Footer. That's my man Rex. Got Jen behind the glass. Got her. Too late. Got her already. I already tinked her. Thank you. Whoa. No, I didn't. But anyway, no, it's okay. Not a big deal. But yeah, welcome aboard, everybody. Hope you're buckled up. I think we got a pretty good show today. A couple of things going on. We're gonna make sure for our pal. We're gonna stay away from Candace maybe a little bit today. We'll see. So again, he's got that going for him today. Yeah, and then I saw something on a comment that they somebody commented on something but made a mistake and commented on the wrong episode. So it was Aaron, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor fella. I don't know quite what he meant because I didn't even look it up, to be honest with you. I've been a little busy. Again, I don't know why we're not going to Critics Corner at all as of late.
We do have one in the tank whenever you want to go. We just gotta actually pull them up. But yeah, we have a few.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's been plenty of cute ones. And again, honestly, probably over the last couple of days or week, maybe 2 weeks even, I think there's been a lot. You guys are getting a lot more educated, giving your opinions clearly, making points, not just saying, we suck. I mean, sometimes you add that on at the end and that's fine. But for the most part, God bless you. I mean, this is what I've asked for. And I think you guys are responding pretty well. Now,
I was gonna say Karen seems to be a little bit more ornery than usual, but
I don't know. Yes, again, the rhetoric very harsh. But what did you expect? You know what I mean? But I'm gonna stick by a couple things. I find there's always some gems in what she says. Number one, number two. Maybe you want to work on a delivery, maybe get a little softer, but that's up to you. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not your thing, and that's fine. We've seen a marshmallowy core around your jagged edge at times, and that's fine either way. We embrace it as is. With that being said, I'll give you one thing for I'm not going to do it this show, but maybe by next show, because like I said, I've been a little busy, but I'm going to absolutely cook. I'm going to cook your arguments, Karen, about some of the Christianity questions you had for me. I'm going to cook you on that. Because again, you're asking very basic, well, why do kids have cancer if God's supposed to love it? Okay, again, I'm not going to get into it right now.
They're a little elementary of the arguments for sure.
Again, they're not bad questions, but you're smart enough and you're definitely, you have the tools that you don't need. Now, if you say if you said to me, Footer, I have a problem with the Trinity, and I've listened, I really need to, I would go, you know what? I get it. It's extremely, extremely difficult to understand, and really make logical sense. Yet it's so clear and so logical once you get it. So that I would be okay with. But the ones that you kind of threw out there, again, I think you're a little bit better than that. Oh, I know you are, so let me go back to the good things about some of her comments. Yes, very harsh on you. Harsh on me as well, but I mean, what am I going to expect? I thought you two had a little better of a bond. You know what I mean?
Again, I don't really think I need to say this, but I don't beat Jen. I don't know exactly.
Get closer to the microphone.
I may
you gotta get close. You gotta get close.
Abuse.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get up closer to the microphone because you're breaking up every time you're not eating it. Well, no, we don't have any trouble. Just getting the microphone.
Well, you're breaking up too. So I don't know if there's some issue going on with anyway. There was. I almost feel sorry. I feel bad a little bit for Karen because it almost seems like there's a little bit of projection there. You know what I mean?
I think you're taking unnecessary shots.
Who?
I
Me?
do. I think you're taking an unnecessary shot. I don't think she's projecting. I think she's overdoing her rhetoric.
A spousal abuser?
No, I know. I think maybe you push her around, but I just think he doesn't push her around. They actually have one of the best relationships I've ever seen as two people. With that being said, I think that she's just inflating things. You know what I mean? Sometimes your rhetoric is a little rough, but you abuse me as well in that way. So. You freeze up.
And I'm sorry that you feel that way.
We feel that way. But go on.
Yeah.
I mean, me, Jen, and the listeners. But go ahead.
You make it very difficult for me. You know that?
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, we need to have a little conversation out behind the woodshed, I think.
I'm not believing. Last time I did that, I left fucking my bottom hurting and ashamed. Sorry, my Christian friends.
Well, I
like Muslims will love that one.
I hope it comes across. Yeah, hope that comes across sounding well on everybody else's because I didn't hear a word you said.
Is it break? Why it's breaking up to you as well?
Yeah, there's a T-painting breaking up. Kind of a thing going on.
We need to refresh. We need to just sign off and go back live right now, buddy. It's not fair to the listeners to continue if there's an audio.
We can do. Can you go down to my settings down there, the settings wheel, and we'll back off the the settings wheel right next to the red square there.
The audio quality you're gonna pull away, aren't you?
And
the video quality.
Yeah, quality there. Yep. And then let's go from full definition, go down to 720. We'll go to high. Yeah, we'll see if that helps.
Okay.
All right, and Footer, if you want to do the same thing, if you want to, but
yeah, that's fine. But anyway, well, let me finish what I'm doing here. Can you hear me now? Everything's smooth.
Yeah, you sound good.
All right. So again, my point is, I'm going to cook you on the Christian stuff, only because, and not because I know so much. You ask very, ridiculous questions, or you were challenging me on a few of those things.
Elementary, we'll say.
We'll say that. That's fine.
There's no reason. There's no reason to talk down to our foots. So.
Okay, you can try. Listen, you can try to play that game and make it. I don't care. You know what I mean? I believe she's too smart to be manipulated by you, as well as Jen is, and the rest of the listeners, which is why you found yourself in the predicament that you're in. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I almost opened up a can of worms to really let people know. And Jen already knows, thank God you're not that, but where you've come from, and sometimes you show your true colors as being the troll bully that you really, really at one point embraced and are. I just think you have changed yourself for the best, but I won't go into all that. You know what I mean? But I think it shines sometimes, and I think it's sometimes a little bit tough for us to deal with. Now, me, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You know what I mean? I'm an absolute mess, and I show everybody. You're a little guarded. You know what I mean? Everybody sees through my facade.
Let's just get rid of it altogether. And we'll try it again at another date.
What, like in a minute, right? Or are we just gonna like refresh and try again?
No, I want to see if that helps the audio and the T-painting issue. Maybe if we don't have so many things going on at once, that's all.
Oh, wait, what? I didn't hear what you said. Would you say get rid of the TikTok?
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
We'll see if that helps because, quite frankly,
It drew too much. You know, too much of our power. Am I T-painting? Is that the problem?
No. Now you sound good. You're just saying a bunch of shit that nobody cares about.
All right, that's fair. Like something like that. Like now, that's not even like the mean person I was talking about earlier. Like that's just funny, lighthearted. You know what I mean? It's funny how in the package it looks the same. It's not, and we all know it. At least I do.
You sound beautiful.
But that's of course that's here nor there. Now again, you want to start this baby from fresh, so we don't annoy people and they don't turn it off right from the beginning.
No, again, there's too many working parts and movements to actually like start and stop that kind of a thing. So we sound good now, and we you know, when we go to Spotify, I'll clean it up a little bit and we'll go from there. But this is live. That's how live is. You know what I mean? It's a little of this, a little of that. Turn up your amps. You know, it doesn't always
break a string
if you like to.
No, break a string. It happens all the time. Yeah, it happened on my biggest show ever to mean anything in my entire life. By the way,
how'd you get the tampon out?
I don't get it.
Did you broke a string?
Yeah, you're better than that.
No,
I know it. That's fair. That's fair. Probably not. Yeah, biggest show of my life. Showcase, big time executives, private Viper Room in LA, and yeah, guitar player breaks a string, playing the riff out of tune because he's trying to find the right.
So it wasn't your guitar; it was the other guys.
Oh yeah, not my. I wasn't. I very rarely. I only played guitar on stage for about 6 months of my entire music career. Now I constantly write and would write songs and play and rehearse maybe sometimes, but on stage, I would have loved to. When I was writing songs, singing and playing in live rehearsal studio, and I was writing that way, they were some of my weakest songs, but now that they've been readdressed, they're really strong songs. But that's what I think really hurt my career, to be perfectly honest with you, because I was in a position where I was supposed to be doing something specific but they want me to sing and play guitar on stage and still be at my best. I never did that in my life. You know what I mean? And then I was being judged on that. You know what I mean? Again, I was just talking to a producer last night. One of his artists ended up terminating his contract. So he was like pissed and a little upset because like it was his boy and he believed in him and blah, blah, blah. And I was telling him a lot about my story. I'm telling you, it's a fucking movie. Because when I start recalling more and more events and things that happen, and some of them by no means are making me look, they don't make me look good all the time. Some things do. Like the big picture, like the strong points of like my drive in the beginning and making sure like everybody else like matched it. You know what I'm saying? And when they didn't, I would carry them. Like I got us to where we would be, but I couldn't do it without everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also done really things that I look back in hindsight and I go, man, I should not have done that. Like I probably fucked a lot of people, but I can tell you in my heart at the time, I didn't think that way. You know what I mean? But we should get into that one time.
Sure. I know. Mr. Halibut over on Rumble was asking about it. So
it would have to be, Rex. Honestly, you'd have to do it more where you're interviewing me. You know what I mean? So you can give me structure. What?
I said, God, you're needy.
No, but you know what I mean? Because I would need structure from like beginning to end. And then I would veer off. If not, I'd be all over the place. And it's hard to chronologically remember all the events.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, what else? A lot of good and bad comments. Now, on Spotify, it was pretty much all bad. on the video that you posted that we're
Yep.
going to get into, and you can kind of give everybody the intellectual end of that, and go from there. I was in the dark just as the audience was, in regards to, I knew nothing about, and I'm telling you God's honest truth. I knew nothing about what you were talking about when you was like 6 in the morning. You said, "Oh, I'm going to post a video about petty or something of that nature."
Yep.
I just wrote nice or something, you know what I mean? And
right.
Because again, cool. I didn't know what it was, but whatever you were doing, I'm sure it was going to be good, you know?
Yeah, what about the Heartbreakers? You're like,
yeah, I was like, that's a little irrelevant, but maybe it's, maybe it's his anniversary of death or something of that nature. I don't know.
yeah.
But so then I see it, right?
Yep.
And I got to tell you the truth again. I'm not trying to be rude. I maybe watched it twice. Like, I didn't really focus in on it or whatever.
Sure.
Saw a few comments, didn't even click on the comments, saw the preview when I got the alert that there's a comment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was no like big thing. Then I looked at it again. I'm like, yeah, I kind of see it, but then I'm like, I don't know. So I wrote to Rex, hey, something I'm going to paraphrase, hey, I'm sick and tired of your horse shit. You know what I mean? Jen
Right.
just texted me, yeah, code blue, you're out. But no. So I texted you something of nature like, hey, I saw the video, but I don't know if it's really a good representation for the show. Like, I don't necessarily agree, or something of that nature, you know what I mean? But nothing like I wasn't angry. I was like, hey, dude, I'll take this down, or like, I truly, whatever, I just wanted him to know, because we never discussed anything. So
Right.
I didn't want him to be blindsided if, he whatever. And I'm at the point where you and I, like, I do my very best to not get frustrated with your opinion, and I don't care if you get frustrated with mine. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
It's like, we don't have to see eye to eye to love each other and or do a good show. So there was zero like anger, and then he pulled the fucking Kobayashi Maru on me. You know what I mean? And you'll all learn about that too. So
So
that, take it from there.
The chronological events happened was I had gotten an alert from CNN that this had actually happened. The almost called him Tom Petty. That the Adam Petty thing had gone on. I didn't know anything about it.
Heartbreaking. See what I did there? Tom Petty heartbreak. Never mind.
Nice. So I looked on, of course, CNN and things like that, and of course their view of it was completely skewed in the way that reasonable. They played to their audience, and they were showing that he had been disarmed. That he was no threat when he was shot. He was pepper sprayed. People were jumping on him. There was a bunch of confusion, things like that. So I was like, okay, well, that's typical of the left and the media in general, that they're going to display it this way. So then I'm like, well, let me go and look and see if I can find some explanation from.
And another thing too that's key about that part too, Rexy, is that even if it wasn't questionable, you knew what they were going to say. Like, you could have saw the guy like, die pig, like this, and they would have been like, well, if you notice, he said, this hurts, ow, I'm crying, Mr. Ig, if you notice, his name is Pazowski, and the guy was probably using his nickname. Everybody used to call him the piggy. You know what I mean? If you notice, his nose is a little tilted up and the nostrils do flare like some sort of a ham. So I want to, you know what I mean? They reach sometimes.
Oh, for sure. So I couldn't find anything on normal things. So I went to Rumble and I pulled up Alex Jones. And because he had his hot take on it. And the title of
I mean, the guy definitely had frogs. I mean, if you think about it, he had frogs, and I mean,
I wish I knew his mannerisms better.
Yeah, that was just horrendous. I meant
edit that out.
Oopsie daisy.
So anyway, his title was shooting of Alex Petty was 100% justified. I'm like, okay. So again, same video footage, same angles, things or whatever. And he's
notice
going
he slashed his throat. Sorry.
he's going into the, why it was completely justified. And
can I ask you why? Do you remember why? I'm just curious to know why he said it was.
He again had said that, that he had showed up with a gun. If you look at the full video footage, he's going across the street, he's harassing the police officers with these two other women. The agent chases him and the two women across the way. And kept saying, "Oh, he's armed.
And I'll tell you, that goes back to your point from a few shows ago in regards to decision making. The second you walked out of your home with a gun to a protest,
right,
with the mood and the climate of the environment at the time.
Yep.
All of those things. So I think the first thing is you leaving your house with your weapon, if it's a legal weapon, is okay no matter what.
Sure.
Right? But
not no matter what, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, I was going to get to that. So my point was, but if you're going to, let's say, the courthouse, or if you're going to the county that you're not allowed to have the gun, or whatever the case, so there are, then there's a red flag. But let's say, for instance, you leave your house and you're not, none of those things are a red flag. You leave your house with your gun and something happens, I'm not going to hold that against you for you for a consequence that you had your gun and this happened to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go a little step further. Now you leave your home with your gun, which is legal, right? Mm-hmm. So I've already had no problem with it. But now the destination is going to a protest. Now, I don't know what the rules are for that, if any. With that being said, I think right there you start to go, I don't know if I should do this. There's a lot of people. So with a lot of people, things could pop off. So maybe I should have my gun. Okay. Now you leave your house with your gun to go to a protest. Don't know if you should have, but you know what? You can make some arguments for why you should have it. Okay. But now the climate of what's happening with these protests.
Yeah.
You obviously aren't happy. You're not, quote unquote, going there as a peaceful protester. You have to be angry. And there's a difference between being angry and passionate and being unruly. There's a big difference.
Right.
So I want to say there had to be a time, whether you said it to your friend, whether you said it under your breath, whether you made a major announcement on your social media platform, that you were angry and you were upset and you were exuding some form of violent rhetoric. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was. I don't know. So I don't know. But that has to also come into to play as far as being in a place with a firearm, that the consequences and all of the surrounding circumstances that are coming into play, that's a bad decision.
Right.
With that being said, he doesn't deserve to be shot and killed. But I want that out there, though, that, there's a lot of series of events that happened prior to this that a little bit of logic and a little bit of reason may have been able to avoid all of this.
Sure.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Jen and I have a license to carry, and it wasn't even all that long, before we took the class. So the class is still sort of fresh in our minds. And, one of the things that the instructor pounded is that,
how dare you let a woman touch a gun, you fool.
Get down and shut the up, bitch.
Okay. So, he had
Is that when Jen went to go ask a question? Was that the was that the instructor?
Yes.
So it's a completely defensive posture. You only are going to carry in a completely defensive posture. And he kept using those two words over and over for the 2 hours of the class or whatever. So, when I carry, I don't carry all the time, but if I'm going to a place where it seems like it would probably be one of those, I'd rather be caught with it than caught without it, kind of a thing.
The state fair, for example.
Absolutely. Actually. If I'm going to, other cities and towns where it doesn't that doesn't matter. Anyway, my point is that if you are number one carrying, you're at an advantage against somebody who's not. So if I was going to carry and go to a protest, number one, I would not take an offensive position as to, directing traffic, trying to get into cops' faces. You're actually, because you have sort of like the equalizer or above with a gun, it's more incumbent upon you to be even less offensive than you normally would. You can't, if I were to bring a gun with me and then go to some kind of a protest where there's a bunch of people who don't agree with me, and I was out there harassing the hell out of them, and they started
yelling. They just yell at you like disagree. You just pull out. All right, fuckers. All right, you say you like it. You get rid of illegals. You motherfucker. All right, back up, everybody. Like you can't just yell founder. Just
right. But you say it in jest, but that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
You can't walk into a situation with a gun in a defensive position, rile everybody up, get everybody on you, and then start blasting and be like, I was self-defense. Well, you did a lot of things to provoke and prod the situation. And again, I going back to my whole thing. So anyway, I had watched
my 20. Hey, buddy, in my 20s, 30s, and probably most of my 40s, not for legal reasons, but there's no way I could conceal carry. You know what I mean? I was not disciplined enough mentally, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, that's not that and I knew that I was not responsible enough to do that at that age. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You really do look like Scott Storch, by the way. But go ahead. And I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. Guys are fucking trillionaire. But
yeah,
anyway.
I guess it could be worse. So anyway, like I watched Alex Jones' whole thing. I looked at his comments, and of course, all of his comments were 90% agreeing with them. So I was like,
Jen, by the way, Jen, while he's talking, could you pull up a picture of Scott Storch, please? Thank you.
Yeah, specifically from Rogan's interview, because that's probably the closest you'll get.
You see, why'd you have to? Now you're going one that he probably looks fucking amazing. I wanted her to pick out one to let her choose.
Yeah, one where he's all fucked up and he's got his glasses off and he has
no, I have to have glasses on. No. He's got my cousin. My mom and dad were cousin eyes.
So anyway, like I was kind of curious.
4 days strung out on smack. You know what I mean? Just finished 4 beats for Timberland. All right, go ahead. All right.
So I started to like, well, if I were to create a video, and push it one way or the other, either he's super innocent or super guilty, I was wondering what the distribution of reaction would be. So I did that. I specifically made a video. I put it out to a limited amount of people. You can pull it up if you want. And I
front on, not from the side. Because from the side he looks like a lizard. You don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got that going for me.
Yeah. +1.
All right. Yeah, finish up, reptile boy. Go ahead.
So I did a specific video where it said, update, weapon clearly visible, guy reacting, and I slowed it down and had the agent reacting to what I said was, the guy pulling his gun. And then it kind of went around, and then it had Alex Peretti holding, I think, his phone or something like that over to his right-hand side.
Yeah.
And, said weapon clearly visible, and, played it out or whatever. And then it gets towards the end where I was having a little bit of fun with the woman who's claiming, we need to call an ambulance. It's like, you're on your fucking phone video. You have a phone, call an ambulance.
No, but that's the true part.
Yeah,
that's the part that was true. But I'll tell you, I didn't know anything about that. So and I swear to you, did I come at? Did I say anything mean or angry? Did I say take it down? I just clearly said, because I didn't know about that. I just clearly said I don't think that's a good idea for us repping the show. You know what I'm saying? Because like that is not like credibility wise, like that does not show quote unquote clear anything. Again,
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't see it, and I'm not gonna be able to sit there and it's not what we do here.
Right.
So like maybe relook at that one, and then all of a sudden you texted me back. I'm like, thank goodness.
I'm like, you're 100% accurate. So what I did is I ran it again, limited visibility, only followers could see it. And immediately even TikTok had it under review. We couldn't even erase it. It didn't have any visibility at all. But I'm like, I'm going to run it for 24 hours, and then I'm going to sort of tabulate between the likes, the comments, and just kind of see how the distribution weighs out. And it was about 40 to 60%. 40% said, the guy fucking deserved it, that kind of a thing, and likes and things, whatever. And it was about 60% of people said that you're a fucking idiot and this is not clear at all. So I mean, I would have certainly liked to have seen a little bit more to the latter, because again, there's nothing obvious about it at all. But I think at least it does show that that at least we're not playing to just one side of the audience. It does seem like at least we have sort of an even distribution about people who can be a little bit objective about things. And again, Karen was one of them that had pointed it out, which I give her credit for. So anyway, that was my little experiment into what I'd like to talk about a little bit, is about the responsibility of people who have a following to be forthright on what they're saying, and also to make sure that whoever that they're prodding to do this, that, or the other thing, that these people know what the consequences are of doing that exact thing.
I.e. Candace being sued by the Macrons, i.e. Cease and assist going to Candace.
Yep.
That ties into what we've been saying for the longest time, and that's all we'll say about that. But
right.
Yeah.
Nick Fuentes is a prime example of I know a ton of his show is tongue in cheek, and he's just being outlandish for things like that or whatever, but he really needs to not just assume that everybody who listens to him is in on the joke, or everybody that listens to him is like, yeah, I know Nick's crazy, but I would never, because there's a substantial part of his following that take his word as gospel and will probably do something that that I don't think Nick ever intended.
That's fair, because I'm not even gonna sure, could it happen? But I'm hoping and praying that nothing would ever be as like them following to such a blind faith where they actually commit crimes. With that being said, we've talked about this too with him. I think he's at a point now where he's achieved what he needed to as far as audience. The things he's got a great opportunity in 2026. I think he's got a great market of younger people that would be able to, whether I agreed with it or not, would be able to embrace some of the more controversial but true and accurate things he talks about, and maybe help him use that ideology, but maybe work a little bit more on the prescription for it, because we've talked about him having a lot of issues with the prescription for some of the things he talks about. We agree with a lot of the things that he talks about, but we always have an issue with the subscription. So if he does use this opportunity to maybe tone down his delivery a little bit and focus in more on, let's not assume, because your audience now is so broad and now you're reaching so many more people, which I believe that you would want to do. Now let's stop assuming that everybody's in on the joke, as you had said earlier. You know what I mean? Let's now keep your integrity, keep your message, right? But and I'm not saying you still yell fuck you, bitch, to Candace or whatever you want to do, right? I'm not saying you get rid of this who you are, but you start to think a little bit more about the people that aren't in the direct line, because your tentacles, as I said about Candace, your tentacles are reaching out real far now too, which is really good, and I'm happy to see that, and I truly mean that. You know what I mean? But I think there does become, and again, we're not breaking ground here, but with power, there becomes more responsibility. You know what I mean? He's in a really good direction as far as if he can really hone in on Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a Catholic. He said, he claims to be very religious. I believe it. But again, as not to get biblical, but it's not about what you do with your mouth. It's what's in your heart. Whoa. So you know what I mean. And I'm not saying that just because Nick's a or allegedly a but again, so I think that's going to be a great way for you to kind of talk about the things that are going on, and the responsibility that these people have.
And you do have examples on both sides. You have the BLM riots, obviously the riots that are in Minnesota, where the promoters of this, senators, representatives, mayors, governors, or things or whatever, they're certainly doing their thing of saying you need to go out and protest, you need to, but they're not walking it back to saying you need to do this, but just so you know, if you put your hands on an officer, you're probably going to be murdered, or you're probably going to jail. You need to do this respectfully. They need to know this. And again, if you look at the Jan 6 thing, Trump did say peacefully and patriotically, but when you're in the moment, you feel like, especially a lot of these nihilists who don't really have any sort of, fear of God, fear of cop, fear of family, fear of nothing, that have nothing really to live for. Plus they're jacked up on all these psychotic medications, that are just going to walk in there and think that's going to be their moment, because they've been so, white bread and mayonnaise their whole life. Now it's my moment. Now I'm going to do this. What are you going to say?
And I think it's a great point too, even with the Trump thing. Like, he clearly did say peaceful, right? Or whatever he said. Now, wouldn't it have been great, right? Not saying he should have or that he didn't do it correctly, and it probably wouldn't matter because it's Trump and he probably still would have taken a beating for it. But let's just say, for instance, he went, peacefully, and people, I mean peaceful. I'm talking, show them we're better, show them that we're strong, and he went on this little bit of a diatribe on that, and then continue. That may have changed things. I don't know. My point is, I think, of course, as the president, he had the responsibility, but now I'm trying to push it on to like the Nick, the Candaces, everybody with that reach, to be a little bit more responsible, and think about the consequences. Like I said, you heard Trump said peacefully do it. January 6th happened, and you see everything that have occurred because of it, whether it right, wrong, indifferent. A lot of shit happened. So maybe if you can avoid something like that and still get your message across, how nice would it have been if all that happened and it went off peacefully, nothing happened, and it really opened an eye to, wow, people were really not happy with how that went down, meaning the election. You know what I'm saying? And it really shined some light on the situation, but it wasn't. It was over. It was the media ran with the insurrection. And again, I'm not even here to debate with if you should have or not. My point is that could have all been avoided.
Right.
In hindsight, easy to say. I get it. But now you have people like Nick, people, that have this large reach and influence, now have something to look back on. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we're out of line by saying this.
Yeah. And you have to realize your attainable goal. Like, we'll take Jan 6 for a second. There was no way in the world, if your attainable goal was to rush onto the floor of the Senate and cause melee, and then Trump will walk in and become president again. If that was your goal, you're an idiot. So
like they were going to force Pence, like with a pen. No, take this and sign this right now,
Right.
saying that whatever the power, like, oh, that's going to work. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to get him to sign it by gunpoint. That's a smooth transition.
Right.
That'll work.
Now, you know,
Great point, Rex.
Take this Minneapolis thing. If your goal is to, we're going to keep all the illegals and fuck ICE. Okay, that's. But what you can do is you can, appeal to the middle and maybe even some on the center right, and be like, look, we're really against this. We really don't want it to happen. But your goal can't be to, I'm going to stop ICE from deporting illegal immigrants. You can be like, this is how we feel.
You can stop ICE. No, you can stop ICE from doing it. But you know what? It's with a petition. It's with a. I'm just saying. There's also protests. Don't misunderstand me. Right? But you nailed it. Like it goes back to the guy that walks out of his house with the gun to go protest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On both ends, he shouldn't have to have it to protect himself. He shouldn't have it to be an aggressor. Like, you know what I'm saying? At that point, to a protest, like, what is that getting done? No matter who's right, who's wrong. It's ridiculous.
He was certainly well within his constitutional rights to do what he did, but Kyle Rittenhouse made his own bed. He there was no way in the world he was going to stop and protect and defend all of these places from a mob of agitators. He went into,
unless he was going to mow them down. That's your only option.
The point, like, he again, within his constitutional right, he didn't use his gun, but he invited the ills upon him. So yes, he was within his constitutional right, but was in his moral right? I don't think so. Let's this video has been going around, but it is worth it. This is exactly what you shouldn't do if you have a following. Yep.
I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. They fucked up, okay? Go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fucking fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and fucking 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my fucking followers. This is everything I have fucking talked about, and this is exactly what I said was gonna happen. This is exactly what I said was gonna fucking come when we didn't fucking go and march on fucking Whipple with guns. Sorry. But welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you fucking protected from literal fucking Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity. This is not a fucking joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people.
Yeah, just a bit outside.
It seems a bit offensive. You know what I mean? I think the Second Amendment, protect yourself from the government is a very, very fair thing. It's what it's built upon. You know what I mean? Could be interpreted a lot of different ways, but I think the core of it is just that. Obviously, a lot of different elements to that, but that guy saying be prepared for something for a tyrannical government, it's fine. That's fine. Be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let them come into your home illegally and do something that's unjust. Protect yourself. Do what you need to do. Telling everybody to meet 4 blocks up, you know what I'm saying? To impede on investigations and raids and arrests. Again, how do you think that's going to play out? How do you think it's going to play out?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't have any. He doesn't have a logical goal. He's basically telling his followers to go commit suicide.
I'm angry. I have the right to carry guns. Let's manipulate the situation. And again, if you remember what we talk about all the time about the devil thing, and I read the little devil part, and I won't pull it out again to bore you, but it all comes from doing things on the moral high ground, right? He is making it very clear that enough is enough. Okay? He has judged that the morality of what is happening, and I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. If you ask my opinion, I'll tell you. That's not what this little diatribe is about. Okay? This diatribe is about no matter how you feel about it, okay? His moral high ground does not always align with mine, yours, and all these other people's out there. So what we have to do is, as a collective, right? We figure out and we base our laws and things and on morals and laws and just a lot of different components that are going on, right? This guy chooses to manipulate it all and go, okay, let's use everything that we can, our guns, our rights that we have, and let's manipulate it and let's go out. And as you said, let's basically commit suicide. You're not winning. No one is going to look at that and go, oh my God, we need to change this. Let's pick up the pen and do this the right way. No one's doing that. You're just going to create whatever happens, whether it's a gunfight you win, gunfight you lose. You're not going to come out of here getting something changed. That's not going to work.
No,
it's not. Unless there's something you don't know that there's a coup going on. And you have a branch or a couple of branches of the military that are backing you on this, and you're going to shut down this tyrannical department of government that's going on, which you're telling me is ICE. So if that's the case, listen, you're on your way, buddy. That could work. But if it's not from the inside, you and a bunch of your pals, in between Nichols and 25th, are going to get together and smoke a blunt. You know what I'm saying? Maybe talk tattoos a little bit, and then go have a gunfight.
And transgendership allegedly.
Where'd that come in?
Apparently, he's allegedly a transgender or cross-dresser, I guess is what they had said.
Okay, because you went from being like ew to like, okay, that's sexy.
Sort of on a little side note, Crowder had actually proposed what he considers a reasonable, sensible solution, or at least an avenue to the immigration thing. And I've thought about it, and I'd like to know what you think. He said, everybody backs off for 1 month. Okay. And within that month, if you're here illegally, you file through the CBP-1 app to self-deport. You get the plane ticket. You get the $2,600 per person. So if you're a family, you can.
By the way, I know someone who did that. By the way, just for the record, yep. Yeah. A guy that I know had a worker that was his like a weekly groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Did just that, and it was sad for him, and it was sad for the guy that he worked for because they became very close. But you know what? He did the right thing, and I hope, and he was a good guy. So I hope him and his family do come back into the country at some point legally. But again, so that I would like for that to be a feel good story. But go on.
So okay, so if you're here legally, you have 1 month to file to leave. Free plane ticket, $2,600 per person, and during that 1 month, every state has to allow ICE to come into all of their prisons and jails and remove everybody in the prisons and jails that are of an illegal immigrant status. And then after 1 month, if you're not in the queue, doesn't mean you have to leave by 1 month, but you have to be in the queue to leave. Then ICE comes in and removes the rest of them. Because it is amazing that, they say upwards of 20% of inmates in federal prison are illegal immigrant status, but they're in California, Chicago, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, things or whatever, where they have the sanctuary city status. And then again, like Crider had said, if you are a governor of or a governor of a state or a mayor of a town or a city that is supporting a sanctuary city status, you have to be arrested. The supremacy clause, you have to follow federal law where federal law mandates. So again, give everybody a month, get their stuff in order, go out and do the right thing. And again, if you go out, you're still able to apply for a legal citizenship. You as soon as you get home, you can start applying, you can start the right way and move forward.
I love all of it. I would even I would add one other thing to it where and even if you legally deport, you're still getting run through this system. So if you are a criminal, you might as well stay now and just go on the run. You know what I'm saying? But we're coming for you because if you're a criminal, we don't want you here. And now I'm not talking you got caught peeing in the bushes at the park. You know what I mean? I'm talking like violent crimes against children, something of that nature. You know what I mean? Automatically 20 years, you're not even allowed to apply. You know what I mean? To come back or whatever. I'm just making that. But my point is, so you should even add on that. I love everything about it. It doesn't give anybody the excuse as far as, you're breaking up a part of family. No, they're in prison. So that family is shot. Right. They don't see him now anyway. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then we only see him, once a month. Okay, visit where he comes from once a month. Go travel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great thing, Zoom.
Yeah, right. But again, I think it's perfect. I see no problem with that, except for a normal problem with any other government-run, program. You know what I'm saying? Or thing is that there's going to be a lot of fraud. There's going to be a lot of falling through the cracks. Yeah. There may be a 6-year-old that comes up on the computer as being an MS-13 guy that's killed 4 people and is wanted in 4 states. You know what I'm saying? And there's a picture of a driver's license with his face on it. Like, you know what I mean? So, and that's going to be a fucking problem. With that being said, I'm
going to say some Somali applies like 100 times and gets $250,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's going to be problems, but that has to be baked in. You know what I mean? Because again, you can't send a letter across the country with regular mail without, going, wait a minute, I'm in Florida. I'm sending it to New York. Why is the facility that they just put it in Texas?
Right.
Like, how did that, there was no, East Coast hub that, my point, like, there's just a lot of fucked up shit that's happening.
Right.
So, I don't hate it. You know what I mean? And that's not acknowledging that's in everything is going to be imperfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unfortunately, the light and the people that are so against any of it will love to shine the light on any of the stumbles that come across their nose, but yet they're not going to call out any of the fumbles that have done prior to get us in this problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or the lack of solutions that they're able to come up with. You know what I mean? And again, if your solution is you just let everybody be open borders, then you're never going to find common ground with 85% of the country. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'd hope more, but I am a little bit miffed about how wild some of these. I was watching, Michael Franchise, mobster. Yeah, I was watching him on Jubilee 20 versus 1. Yeah. And it was him versus 20 cops and detectives and FBI guys. And it was interesting. It was real fun to listen. But what really like I was blown away was whatever it doesn't matter what the question was that brought this guy up, but he was a 25-year Fed FBI from LA. And he was trying to make his point, and Michael's retort was something in effect. So wait, okay, you're going to tell me that like there isn't bad faith and political agendas at the top leadership? He goes, can you tell me that Comey didn't have any political agenda or didn't? And the guy's like, no, he was a great director. He was and
Wow.
for just, he goes, Mike's like, okay, no, but why isn't Hillary Clinton in jail then? Like, she admitted to destroying hard drives. She admitted to destroying cell phones, doing all these things. What? Well, no, because they couldn't find that it was done with criminal intent. So the director made it. And I'm listening to this guy, and there was other cops in the background snickering because they realized, like,
put up the flag.
Oh, immediately. Actually, the guy lasted a little bit because I think just because it was kind of heated. And people are kind of like they kind of like, it wasn't like heated per se, but he was the other guy was very passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Red flags for here.
Yeah. I would just love to have one, but then every time something happens, Jen just throws it and just hits you in the face and just goes bish, ding, 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 ding with a move on flag. But anyway, it's just it doesn't surprise me. My point was, it doesn't surprise me how ludicrous that me saying 85% of the country, 15% of the country would be okay with open borders. That's why I even made it so high.
Right. So we do have a couple of we'll skip the first one. Just a couple of videos from Freedom News TV on YouTube that he had taken of the Minneapolis riots. Don't forget, Footer, when we put up the overlay, if you want to talk, unmute your mic.
Yep. I'm just looking at a comment just came, and I was just looking at this gem. You all should have done this BS off camera. Plus, you lectured him the whole time. Thumbs down. What we're not allowed to lecture about anything? All right.
Yeah. What was that on Rumble?
No, that was on Spotify. It just came in on Spotify. And I can't even tell you what I think it was on the Candace Nick.
Oh, okay.
On the Candace Nick thing.
All right. So here's some video footage, and again, this is a little bit lighthearted because of the idiots who just have no idea what they're doing and they're just out there for fun. So play the second one. What the? You're beating a trash can. What the hell? And the first when I saw this, I'm like, well, maybe he's doing it because he was trying to like make noise. Now they're kicking, like, this is.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, thanks, Don.
No, it's getting the job done. I mean, look, there you have it. Change in the making, people.
Yeah.
You know, changing. I tell you, it just goes to show you. You know what? The people on Iran don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? You know what? This is the way you protest.
Right.
This will get things done. You want regime change? Grab yourself a garbage can, get your best pair of shit kickers on, and give it the old 1-2. You know what I mean? God bless America.
So on the next one, do you remember when Trump got arrested or when Trump got elected the first time, and there was a bunch of people doing the scream to the sky things, and there was that woman that kind of looked like Patton Oswalt in the green vest that was yelling to the sky?
They all look like that, but sure.
Fair enough. Anyway, keep that in mind for the third video.
Yeah, most women that feel that way look exactly like you. You're a handsome man, Mr. Rex, but you are an ugly woman.
It's funny. One of these days, I'll have to show you a picture of my dad when he dressed up like a bride, and then my mom put him in the newspaper. It's pretty funny.
I like the fact that your dad did it.
Yeah, it was a Halloween thing, but you know, she's like, oh, let me just take a picture, and then she sent it into the
/ every Friday night after dark.
Yeah. And then sent it into the newspaper and said, to my beautiful bride, and she wrote this whole thing about, how lovely she is. So anyway,
Yeah. And how bad is your newspaper that they're accepting that horseshit article from your mom?
Well, small town, early 70s.
Apparently.
So
that's really funny though.
All right. So anyway, keep the screaming Patton Oswalt in your mind when you watch this one.
I'm independent media.
All right, wrong video. Play number 1.
If you can black out our face, that would be preferred.
Preferred.
Keep your head down. Are you with the BBC or? So, yep.
I won't do anything at the house. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I clearly
was that our military? There's the guy that put his head down.
No, those were protesters.
And were those real weapons on there? Were they allowed?
Yeah, Minnesota's open carry.
Okay. God, that's and if you get shot, I mean, you're in full. Like, that's the thing that I get. Like, okay, call me crazy here, all right. And again, I don't want to be infringe on people's rights. So, nope, have the gun. You should be able to have the gun. Okay. Even in the protest, like I told you, I don't think it's a great idea, but fine, have the gun. You're protected, right? At some point, can we say if you open carry in a protest, you can't be in military gear or something? I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way to make everybody happy, safe, and like, okay, if I was going to draw you a picture of a bird, okay, even if I'm a terrible, terrible artist, okay,
which you are,
I would have, which is true, I would have to at least go with something that's resembling a beak and feathers, okay. Maybe there's birds without feathers. Maybe there's birds without beaks. But if I'm going to draw you a bird, okay, beaks and feathers. All right.
Reasonable.
So my point to all this is the gun, the military garb, the covering of your face, the tactical gear, okay, like that's the wings and the beak. You know what I'm saying? The bird being a problem, right, is my point. So like, is there some way? Am I taking people's rights away by maybe saying that it's you can't be in tactical gear with your gun in a crowd more than 50? I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but at least so we're able to. How do we know who the bad guy is and who the bad guy isn't?
Right.
Type of deal. Like, I don't want to be in Afghanistan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we had actually talked about this on, I think, on our last show when we were talking about similar characteristics of sniper shooters. And I'm just going to go ahead and read it again. It's called the pseudo commando identity. Psychologists call it identification warning behaviors. Emulate military law enforcement. They may have no formal military background, but obsessively adapt the warrior aesthetic, purchasing tactical gear, camouflage, and high-end optics. So don't do it. It's not a good idea because, like you said, especially in the heat of battle, You have no idea who's on what side and things or whatever. And more than likely, yeah, I would bet you that these two individuals spent a substantial amount of their time trying to convince other protesters that they weren't ICE. So then what are you doing?
I thought they were.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't you?
you know what my answer was going to be, what I was going to say to them?
Hmm.
Because in the middle of the video, you can't hear me. But I'm like, Rex, are they ICE? I was asking you, right?
Oh.
But I realized that you can't hear me. So, but you'll hear it on the playback. So I was gonna, as soon as that ended up, and if they were, which I thought they kind of were at first, I was like, I'm a little embarrassed for ICE right now. Like, why did he put his head down?
Right.
Yeah, he said preferred. Yes, he said preferred wrong. But even worse, like he cowered. He's like, okay, I'll put my head down. I don't want my face to be seen. Like, but now I know, of course, no, it was perfect characteristic for who it was.
Right.
Now that I know.
I'd even ask you, are you guys with CNN? No, we're with Freedom TV News. You're not getting on CNN, Phil.
Right. I don't know. It's just very it's very weird that people can't separate the greater good that they're trying to achieve if they don't agree with something that's being done, if they feel something's being done unjust, to be able, as we threw shade at the protesters that day, on January 6th, I throw shade at the same on the opposite. If you're not able to logically and reasonably see that the tactic for your greater good is not going to be is not going to behoove you in any way. And let me tell you something. Quite frankly, it's going to hurt your cause because it's going to spiral on more violent attacks based on this false moral high ground that you're depending on to do the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's say we wanted to apply that to the ICE agents, right? Here's why you can't. Because it's not just a moral thing. They're not doing this just because it's moral. They may feel that way. I would hope that they feel that they're doing their job with morals, but they're also doing it because it's their job, because their job is to uphold the law on the books. That's what's happening. So again, the miscommunication is the whether they feel morally good about their job or not, they're doing their job. So we need to, if you don't, and I don't say we, but if you don't agree with it, you need to change the law. And again, this isn't a tactic that's going to get it done.
Right.
Going to spiral more and more violence on both ends. And then violence against the protesters is going to happen again because they were jacked up that something happened to the other guy, just like that guy in the video. He's reacting to something with more violence that is going to do nothing more than get him killed, get somebody else killed, and then maybe unjustly killed. If you don't take into anything more in consideration, right?
Yeah.
But and then it shines light on, this is a bad look how bad these ICE agents are. Oh, okay, so what do? We create more violence against them. And then the ICE agents are going to this is not going, there's zero good that's going to come out of any of this.
Right. And before we go, speaking of doing their job, can you explain quickly the when we were right 6 months ago about Mr. Rob Oneil?
Oh yeah, and can I just say one thing lastly, to just about this other thing?
Absolutely.
You know who should be writing like "fuck ICE" on the wall, or anybody, or really like. My point is, if your slogan is "fuck ICE," you should legitimately be like, I don't know, 14 to 25. If you're, and I'm being gracious by giving you 25,
right?
But like, and again, or just kind of crazy. Because again, that's not a very productive slogan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now let's and let me give you just a slight contrast. I promise I'll stop. But like, make America great again. When you look at it, right in your face, you go, "That's wonderful. I want to make America great again."
Yep.
Now, let's pretend I don't like it. I would go, "Oh, look at that dog whistle. These fucking racists. That is a dog whistle." But I'm going to give you a little clue, right? Whether it is or not, it's not. But whether it is or not, okay, I think the sign is a little more telling than fuck ICE.
Sure.
There's really no looking into, oh, no. These people have clearly, you know what I'm saying? Pro ICE, they're clearly own an ice scraper company. Okay, like they do not like ICE. These people, like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? There's not like whatever. Even if you fucking met justice for Tom Petty, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, at least there's a little bit of
fight for
in
what's
there.
right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't like them. I don't agree with them most of the time. But at least, fuck ICE. No, we're taking the gloves off. Oh, are you? Well, now your hands are gonna be cold. You know what I mean? But that's all. Chilly hands. That's all you got.
No, that's it.
That is it. You know. But anyway, and then back. Let's end by patting ourselves on the back, as we usually start the show with patting ourselves on the back. Once again, your boys over at Copperhead Road. And again, I said it then. I'll say it now. It wasn't like we were breaking ground, but not a lot of people on a mainstream level knew this. So when you say to everybody, who killed Osama bin Laden? If you know it all, which a lot of people do, even people that don't follow certain things or military stuff, it was Rob Oneil. You've seen him on Good Morning America, to your favorite buddy podcast. You did it all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah. PBS, CBS, you know what I mean? Everything. So he's pretty much run the gamut. Books, right? 30, what was that movie? Whatever the movie was, whatever it was. There was a movie,
yeah, I don't.
Whatever. I can't think of the movie about him. About the killing of bin Laden, the whole plan with the woman who it was actually a woman who found him and put the intelligence together. But anyway, so I had said back then, because I was really watching a lot of the vet bro shit, right? And everybody in the vet community knew that this guy did not kill Osama bin Laden. Like, and I had said it on the show, and we talked about it a little bit, but we didn't go too much into it, I don't think. But we did a little bit of a show on it. And sure enough, he went on Andy Stump's show, Rob Oneil, and finally admitted that the whole debriefing and the whole official narrative is not true. They covered up.
Hang on a second, Footer. Bless you, Jen.
Thank you.
God bless, Jen. I didn't hear you. God bless.
Thank you.
So the whole thing was that the debriefing, they covered it up. They lied of exactly how they went down. And Rob is claiming now, he said, the way he does it, like, he tells you, but he's like, I don't want to have to say this, but and he's been hinting. He used to get, like, hammered late night and tweet this shit like, yeah, I'm keeping Red out of jail and things of that nature.
Right,
like, when people would criticize him, if you remember, we talked about it.
Yep.
But yet he won't name the person. But then he says the reason why it was him that had to take the actual kill shot, if you may, was because Red came in. He was the first one on scene, took a shot and missed, and hit the wife in the leg.
Yeah,
and they were cut. Yep. Yeah, he didn't want to admit. They didn't want to have the official narrative of being that this was the one and only shot you can't miss.
Right.
That this Navy SEAL missed a shot. Right. So they were doing that to protect him. Okay. He also made a horrific claim of that Osama bin Laden's dead. It was shown that there was a few people that followed up with a few more shots afterwards, but he said he was laying there. He's like, tongue was hanging out. He reached for his bottle of water, and as he's like this, pouring the water on the face to clear the blood for a better positive ID to take pictures, somebody came in and fucking canoed him. You know what I mean? Which is, put a bullet through his fucking head, and you know what I'm saying? He goes, so much so that like I poured the water, clear the face, and the shot just came in. Like that's like, a problem. Why wasn't that said in the debriefing? And now I understand why, because listen, especially at that time, war crime, people are going, our own people are going to jail, you know what I'm saying, for questionable decisions they made on a battlefield.
Right.
So, I get it, but, that's a big thing to come out, all these years later. And if you remember Brent Tucker, was the Delta guy that I absolutely love, that I used to talk about all the time. He's the one that exposed all this for the most part, and Rob Oneil's suing him for $25 million for defamation of character. Yet he lied, and it's exactly what Brent Tucker's been saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he's saying that doesn't give him the right to slander him.
I thought
fraud.
I thought the marionette show that they did with Bin Laden after was a little much. I hate America.
It's true. It was a bit much. But yeah, so I found that interesting that just came to light as far as officially he gave the official first time ever narrative of what really happened that day. And again, listen, what happened was fucking insane, incredible. And Rob Oneil is probably one of the baddest dudes on the planet, from the Bin Laden raid and from his entire 17 years in the military. Like, yeah. Rob Oneil's a badass dude. He's been on a lot of missions, a lot of badass missions. He was part of the mission that killed the sniper that took out Captain Oneil, Captain Phillips, like even from the movie, from the Ethiopia, like he was part of that even. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I was gonna say, what was his excuse on why he's been lying?
Because he didn't want to, he didn't want to get anybody in trouble. He didn't want to, that was he was sticking to what the briefing was. He said, we as soon as it got done, we came up with just the guys came up with their official story. Yeah, brought it to the to the commanding officer. They came up with their official story, and then they go for the debriefing, and they stick to that story.
Right.
And Andy Stump pushed back, saying like he did it really good. Andy Stump's really good. He's good. He did it in a way like
hands.
Yeah, Andy Hooks they call him. But the way he did it was really good. Like he made it very clear, like, Rob, you can't lie. But he understood why he lied.
Right.
You know what I mean? He also said he doesn't think he lied, that he would have lied, meaning Andy said he doesn't think he would have lied. With that being said, he said, but it's easy in hindsight to say that now and here.
Right.
So like he did it the right way. He did it honestly, without making himself look like a piece of shit. But I think I just find it interesting, that it wasn't a bigger story. And do you remember me telling you, listen, this is going to be a big thing at one point. Sometime, again, I don't know how big it gets now, but I'm surprised it didn't catch fire.
Things happen for weird reasons, for sure.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, again, a lot of it does make sense to me. I understand that that things, especially in the military and government in general, sometimes we don't get the full truth, and it's usually for a reasonable reason, or at least the people who are making that decision think it's a reasonable reason.
That's what Rob kind of said, like, well, what does it matter? Like, and that was like kind of his things, like, what does it matter? Why does that matter? Of like he's dead, like, you know what I'm saying? That was his kind of like shtick, like, why does it matter? And I understand that too.
Yeah, and I mean, it was read upset for this. It doesn't seem like, because it's not like he ever came out and refuted it. Right?
Yeah, no, I think he's still in, so I don't think, or he's just recently out, but or maybe he's somehow what do they call that? He's a contract in, maybe works for Blackwater, or I don't know,
Right.
whatever it's called there. But he has been the only one that has not said anything. Matt Bissonette, who was there as well, who actually, poor Matt Bissonette, he was there as well. He was the one that cleared the garden. There's a whole story with that, but anyway, he put out a book, didn't get it approved, and McRaven they sued him for a lot of money, and he lost. Dude.
Oh boy.
So the book was pulled, and he owes the Navy the DOD a lot of money. They were even saying, they both were like, we feel fucking bad for fucking Bissonette, but he was one of the ones that kind of dropped the dime on Rob Oneil as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And Rob Oneil kept saying, first of all, we never, I can't believe we're even ever talking about this, because we were at that moment, we just got done with the biggest thing ever. We were all best friends, and we were all going to the grave with this. So, and that makes sense too.
Right.
The official story. We just killed fucking Osama bin Laden. We got justice for America, for Christ's sake.
Right.
In the optical narrative.
Well, I'm sure, the farther and farther away you get from the inflection point, the high sort of fades, and then the reality kind of kicks in, and you get, people that were like, well, they see the fame and the money that Rob is bringing in. And then, there's, consternation and animosity and things that build up, and,
exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. If you listen to the interview with Andy, Rex, you nailed it. He said that, and it was actually kind of pompous the way he was saying it. But it's the truth. But it just felt weird for him saying it, but he just jealousy. He's like, jealous. When they get older, they get bitter. People change. They were talking about that a lot. So there's a lot of credence to what you're saying. I think that played a huge role in it.
For sure. All right. So we'll be on tomorrow, I think. Everybody's schedule.
Breaking up bad when I didn't hear a word you said. So I'm breaking up.
We might be back tomorrow afternoon, depending on your schedule.
Yep, that should work. And then I wanted to say too, Rex, I'd like to get into some more of the funny part of the Dawa drama and the Christian drama. There, it's heating up, and Christian beef and Muslim beef is hysterical. Now, don't get me wrong. If you look at history, this may not turn out too nice. You know what I mean? As far as the big picture, but right now it's so cute and innocent. But again, doxing is being done and shit like that, so it could turn out horribly. And the nature of the background of the old Muslims, you know what I mean? They tend to be a little bit ornery at points. And again, Christians that well in certain points in history, I'm sure.
Sure.
But anyway, it's really funny, and we need to do a little segment on it, because it's definitely really good. But all right, anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate everyone. Good night. God bless. Rexy, what do we got?
Listening on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and occasionally TikTok when we can get on there. Come on over to Rumble, like, subscribe, buy the premium so you don't have to listen to all those ridiculous commercials. And once again, what the hell are you holding up, Footer?
Reaching out to them, baby. Willie's Remedy THC infused hemp derived low dose social tonic. 0 alcohol by volume, 85 milligrams of THC per bottle. This is Willie Nelson's spirits. They are.
It's
It
good?
is, bro. It's absolutely incredible. Everything that they have said about it is true. Meaning, you don't feel like shit. The next day, you do get a nice little buzz. The taste is absolutely insane. It is so good. Picture like a grapefruitish type of taste, but without the bitterness. You can do it in a shot. I did a shot of it. I also mixed it with a little OJ. I did like a on ice in a little glass.
Fuck ice. Sorry.
But again, there was some. I had it a little bit without ice. But my point is, it's great. It worked. Like I definitely had a nice buzz, and I feel great. So, yeah, Willie's Remedy THC infused, not cheap. But you know, I think they do have like
blood in every barrel.
what? Willie Nelson jacks off in each bottle.
Come on, you almost made it through a whole show without being perverted.
Yeah, right. Ta-da!
Good night, everybody.